For God shows mankind that the way of his ingratitude to earth is the way that God revenges that which has been done to earth. For God says always, man came to be on earth, knowing that all that he is all that earth giveth to him. For earth provided everything for man. Earth giveth itself to man, and earth became a home to man. And earth was protector, provider, and home for all that dwell on earth. And the feelings of man are the feelings of earth. For except he retained that which came from earth to him, he has no existence beyond earth. And so he did not recognize that everywhere he feels, that earth feels the same way. And these things were known to the children of God. For when the children came here, they knew that in all the ways that they were given to uplift earth, that they would know the ways of earth as they had known the ways of the sun from whence they came. And so wherever the children went on earth, they knew that which came forth from that part of earth, and the children gave honor and praise to everything that was on earth. And earth knew the ways of the children, because earth became one with the children. And because the children knew that earth's feelings were their own feelings, the children communicated with everything on earth. And wherever they went and saw the things that earth had given, they asked of earth's permission to take that which earth had provided. And so the children of your God always knew that in all the ways that they were on earth, that earth carried everything that they too carried. God looked at man and saw the destruction man brought to earth. Man went everywhere and he tried to change the things of earth. And he knew not how it is that it angered earth, for he did all manner of terrible things to earth. And God had told man that the earth was his father and his mother, and that it was the only home that he had. And man did not listen. And wherever God searched, everywhere on earth, God saw nothing but decay and decay and decay. Man plundered the earth. He extracted the things that were the sustenance of earth. He destroyed the parts of earth that were sanctimonious to earth. And God asked of man, what have we done to have deserved all these things that you have done? To an earth that provided everything that you needed, that protected you and granted you a home to live in. And God knew that man had no good in him anymore. No good came out of man. And so God knew that every way that the revenge of God is given to man, it is the way in which the revenge of earth comes forth to man. And we have said to you that every manna that earth brought forth to give man sustenance will cease. Everything will cease. And wherever God giveth it not to bring forth anything, God brings the famine that God told man will come, and there will be famine on earth. And wherever God giveth that the waters of the earth become as bitter as gall, God shows them they will never be able to drink it. They will never be able to cook with it. And if they washed with it, their skins shall break out as lepers. So God knows all the ways to speak and to tell the children. When these things are seen, remember what God has said unto you all. Place your faith in God, for God will show you the way, that God is your provider and your protector. For God knows all the ways to provide for the children and to protect them from all that which is coming, that will come. The children of God must turn from the ways of flesh. They must walk in the way of the Spirit. For they did not remember that in all the ways they were great and mighty. Their might was not of flesh, it was of spirit. For the Lord thy God had given unto them a spirit of might and power. And in the spirit of might and power, the children were able to overcome all seen things. And they lost that. And so, like the tribes of earth, the children walked the way of the flesh. In giving unto you the wisdom of the Most High God, we have given unto you that the children of God must walk the way of spirit. For we will teach them the way that the Spirit is within them, and we will show them the way that they must walk in the Spirit, talk in the Spirit, and work in the Spirit. For it is only in the way of spirit that the children of God will overcome the evils of an evil world. We have said to you that in teaching them the way that we have given unto you, that they will come to the full realization that nothing exists that is greater than the Spirit. And in giving them to know themselves, God give them to know the Spirit that is indomitable and unconquerable in each and every one of them. When they shall have come to know the way of the Spirit, they will know why your God says to them, you will know no fear, for you have not a spirit that is of fear. And every way that you will overcome because of your might and power vested in the Spirit that has become you. They did not understand what God meant by the holy matrimony, because man walked the way of the flesh. And in walking the way of the flesh, he could not walk in the way of greatness. And without the way of the Spirit, the truth was never known to men. And so you must tell our children that the holy matrimony of God consists of the joining together of the Spirit and the flesh, that when these two shall have become one, the children shall again walk as gods in the way of man in the flesh. That is the way they were gods. That is the way they were gods. For all men walked in a way not knowing that in every way that the Spirit is divorced from the flesh, it works solely on its own. And it is for this reason your God shows man that every way that his body becomes deceased and perishes, he is able to see the Spirit that continues. And man did not understand that in all the ways that he exists on earth, he exists because his Spirit exists in him. We have always said unto you, every man is what his Spirit is within him. No man can be anything other than what the Spirit is within him. And because the Spirit works not with the flesh is nothing but a corpse, because it has no life of its own, because it receives its life from the Spirit. And because man did not know how God speaks, man had no way of knowing why God told him, you, flesh, have a borrowed life, for you exist only because that which is God, that is your Spirit, loaned to you, shows you the way that you have walked from light into darkness. For when man came forth with the Spirit, God giveth the Spirit and the flesh to be one. In every way that man knew the things that the Spirit knew, God commanded the Spirit Step aside and let man show you the way in which it has learned the things that he has been given to know. And so God said to you, when man started to go forth in the might of the Spirit, God gave the Spirit to shadow man, to see what man would do. And every way that man started to go the wrong way, God sent forth pain to man. And every way he received pain, he shouted, "Oh God, oh God." And God was saying to man, that is not the way you were taught to go. So no man knows how he received pain and suffering, because it came from the way that God told man, you went the wayward way. You went not the way that the Spirit had taught you to go. And wherever man started to go wrong and did not walk in the way of the Spirit, everything that was given to man from the Spirit was taken away from man. And so man became a corpse. And God gave it the Spirit to return to man, but never to share with man that which it was given to know. And so the first resurrection was the way in which the Spirit returned back to the temple, made it its home, and worked from within it to show everyone the way that they had walked from the sacred and divine ways of God, and all that followed as a consequence of what they had done. So man doesn't understand why in his own life God shows man that when they are joined together, they also end up being divorced from each other. And divorce is about man separating and never becoming one again. And man did not know that all these were the ways of God saying to man, this is what happened to you when you walked in the holy matrimony of the Spirit with the flesh. These things we teach, that they must know that there is nothing that God shows to man that does not carry the wisdom of God to man. And the children of God must come to the true knowledge of God in them and the way that God exists as the all that is the all. God always sends you to teach, preach, and to give the message of God to the children of God. That in all the ways this world receives that which is in the terrible judgment of God, God also shows the children what the Spirit can do that the flesh cannot do. For they will see things they had never seen before, and fear shall be in their hearts too, as it will be in the heathens, the Hebrews, and the Gentiles. For God gives no mercy to evildoers on earth. God shows no mercy to the wickedness of man on earth. In every way that God's judgment is unleashed, it will be terrible. It will be terrible. For so says God, so says